Okay, hello guys. Today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I promised Big Boss I made a live stream, so here we go. And hopefully this will fit his time frame more, since I'm doing it 12 p.m. instead of 12 a.m. So yeah. So I'm gonna do a quick rundown of my studio. Yeah. So here we are. Uh, at Xanitra headquarters, yeah. And yeah, so this is usually where I am and jot down my ideas for different tracks and stuff. And yeah, this is usually where I hang out when I make music. So let's see if we can get a little rundown here. That's the whole thing. That's the whole studio right there. Uh, and the zoom button doesn't work on this phone anymore for some reason. I should get a new phone soon, I think. Yeah. And if my other member, Sam Wall, is joining me, he can chat if he wants. So, yeah. So you can talk now, Sam, if you want, on the chat. Yeah. Uh, and connected to the studio is also my two guitars, one electric guitar and one bass guitar. So, it depends on which mood I'm in. Yeah. And I usually make Doom with my guitars, and then I combine them with this pedal right here, the reflector, which is pretty good. Yeah. Uh, I usually use it to go up one octave or one octave down, since it's also is a tone pedal. In addition to many other things. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. And so I'm gonna just firstly go through some of my favorite gear and well, some gear that I'm not too satisfied with. But there you go. That's gonna be the gist of it right there, and how I make music. Yeah. So first off, we got the heart of the studio, as you might say. It's the Keystep Pro. Yeah, it's my MIDI controller, as it were. It's now it's gone into Vegas mode since I haven't been touching it in a while. But this is a beast, to say the least. Yeah, it's got a beat track and it's got three other tracks for controlling uh, tones and stuff, and it's just epic stuff, and it's made me create some awesome tracks. So yeah, I should probably dust it off though a little bit here. It's a bit dusty, so I should probably take a cloth and dry it over. Uh, but it's excellent, and I can mute tracks on the go with this. I can add more tracks, and I can play a portion of the track with these effects right here. So there's lots of stuff I can do with it, and it's got 64 steps, which is, well, amazing. Um, so yeah, that's the Keystep Pro. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just awesome stuff, and it was a bit glitchy at the start, but Atruria has made many updates to it, and I've updated the firmware on the MIDI controller, so now it works brilliantly. Yeah, for making easy and fun tracks or complicated compositions. Yeah, so and uh, you can store the compositions here. So if you got one composition stored on 8, you can like click on this and you can store another one at 9, and I think it goes up to 16. Yeah, so it's just awesome potential all the way with this MIDI controller, and I don't think anything beats it, to be honest. Next is my, well, we can call it my main synth. Um, it's behind a dust cover now, but so it's having a rest. Yeah, but it's the Virus Indigo 2, and let me just move some of the pedals here so you can see it. Uh, let's see. Here we go. Here we go. This is the Virus Indigo 2. It's, well, 20 years old, but it's still, well, it's still amazing, and surprises me every time. It's got effects built in, and it's a stereo synth, and it's just awesome. It's a bit old now, of course, but still. I've used it on most of my tracks on the Xanitra side. Yeah. So it's just awesome, and yeah, what would I do without it, to be honest? So it's becoming a bit glitchy as of late, but that's because it's an old synth now, so I should probably get it to the store and get it cleaned up and maybe have a service on it, maybe. My second synth, which I use, is the Arturia Microfreak. And the reason I use that is it's just easy and simple to use. Yeah. So I also, of course, control it with my Keystep Pro. So I don't actually have to touch my Microfreak to use it. I can just use my MIDI controller like this. Yeah. So pretty epic stuff, and I use this as my bass synth and, well, for backup notes really on my songs. So that's awesome. Next we got a couple of synths from Dreadbox, actually. These are actually some new investments. It's the Erebus and the Hades. And these two together, oh wow. I've only scratched the surface, man, but it's just some epic stuff you can do with these, and the harmonics of these synths is just wow. They take you to another dimension, man, just like the Project Guitar. Yeah, so and yeah, for my last synth, I used the Minibrute 2S. It's also behind the cover now because I haven't used it quite a bit. But it does its own thing, and it's really just a nice synth and easy to use because I got the cookbook, which I just flip on this and it tells me what to do. Because this synth does have it's a semi-modular synth, as it were, so you connect lots of wires in here. And that can get complicated enough, but with this cookbook, you can actually see what you want to do. Let's find an example here so you can see it. Yeah, so if I want to do acid basics, it just basically tells me what to do with the knobs and dials and stuff. And it also tells me what wires I should route where. So awesome stuff, a lot of fun, and yeah, I love it. But right now it's having a break because I'm having a sort of a Dreadbox trip right now. So over to the beats. I've tested many beat machines, everything from very cheap to extremely expensive. But I landed on the Drum Brute Impact right here. Yeah. And the reason for it is that it's really simple to use. You can just dial in a beat and off you go. And it's also got a random dial here. which is awesome. So then I can like add some randomness to my beats, so it doesn't sound so generic and it actually sounds really lifelike. And yeah, it's awesome, man. The last synth I'm going to show you, and the reason why it's last is because I haven't gotten to grips with it quite yet. It's the Behringer Wasp. Yeah, I did have the Behringer Neutron. I was sorry to see it go, but there was some money problems, so I had to sell something. So then it turned out to be the Behringer Neutron. I'll probably buy it back because I miss it. It was an insane machine, and I miss some of the craziness it made. So it was an inspiration. So I'm gonna buy that back one beautiful day. Yeah. This though, I haven't quite gotten to grips with. It doesn't use the whole scale, so it stops on the scale of notes. So that's a bit annoying. And well, I haven't really gotten to learn to use it yet, but it's still cool though, and it's got some really aggressive bass sounds. So yeah, that's awesome. What else? We can go over to now I've covered the instruments and stuff. Let's go over to some of the effects I use. I did show you the reflector, which is a tone changing pedal. One of my favorite reverbs of all time, which is highly underrated, is actually the Avalanche Run. And the reason I love it is it's just so incredibly easy to use. It's got a tap tempo here, so I can tap in the tempo. You hear the drum impact now, so I can tap in the tempo to the beat if I want. There we go. And I think it's set to a little bit high now, so let's try that again. There we go. So yeah, it's just awesome stuff, and one of my favorite reverbs. Another reverb which is pretty cool is the Blackout Effector's Cadavernous. Yeah, it's a variation of the Avalanche Run, but it also has this really warm sound to it, which is awesome. But I found out that works better for guitar than synth. It sounds a bit low on synth, but the Avalanche Run actually works with both guitar and synth for some reason. I've never understood why though. It's where the magic happens, man. So yeah. Let's turn this off for a bit. Okay. The next effect I use very often is delay. So I don't only use reverb, I use delay as well. And my favorite delay, or I have two favorite delays. The first one is from TC Electronics. It's the triple delay flashback, yeah, and it's 3 delay pedals in one. So, and you can dial in different effects with it for what you want. For example, you can have one. You can have the first one. You can have like you can set it to reverse, yeah. And the second one you can have 2290 mod. And the third one can be snapback echo. So, and you can run everything at once in serial or in parallel. So it's pretty epic stuff. For a more moody and a bit more dark, but a beautiful delay, I use the El Capistan from Strymon. Yeah. It's just heaven on earth, man. I just turn it on and leave it there. And my music just turns into, it just swells in the background and it's just awesome. I don't know what it's doing, but it's doing some epic stuff. Yeah. If I want to be a bit more aggressive with my sound, I can go fuzz pedals. Yeah. And for fuzz pedals, I actually have some alternatives. My first alternative is actually the shade beast. Yeah. It's just got a nasty, really nasty sound to it. And I can do some changes to the sound in the mids and the tone and stuff. And also there's a volume, so I can turn the volume all the way down if I want. And if I got a reverb or a delay connected, that can become a really cool effect just by turning this, getting my tone in and out of the signal. And of course, the fuzz effect is here, so pretty awesome, pretty cool. And the design of this is just awesome. It looks like a horror movie or something. One of the coolest fuzz pedals I've ever seen. The next fuzz pedal I have is the Triticale. Yeah. It's a little bit simpler than the other one, but you just dial in and it just goes from extreme to, well, hellish, to be honest. It looks very green and very peaceful, but believe me, it's not. It's hell on earth. I actually use this for many of my synths. This is more for guitar use, and this is more for synth use. Yeah. But the king of the crop, the best fuzz pedal I have is the Swollen Pickle. Yeah. It just goes into insane territory, and I've gotten many complaints from my neighbors when using this, so that's why it's been laying on the shelf as well. It gets so loud that I'm afraid for my guitar amplifier. Yeah. As an honorable mention on the reverb side, I love the Dispatch Master because of its simplicity, but it is in mono though, so, and it's the little sister to the Avalanche Room, but still really cool. Yeah, love it to bits. I also use some loop pedals if I don't use this and I want to go a little bit more freestyle. I have two alternatives. I got the loop station from a Boss, the RC1. Yeah. It just has one loop on board, but I did use it on one of my tracks, The End. So you can check that out on Spotify if you want. You have to type in Xanitra first, of course, but there you are. And it's nice to just add layers of sound. So it just dubs over the sound you've already made. So you can actually make full tracks with this pedal. I have also gotten a more advanced pedal here. The RC5, yeah. So you can store more loops, but it's been glitching a lot on me lately, and I believe that I need to change the battery out, maybe. I don't know. It's just, yeah, I think the battery needs to get changed out. So, but still pretty cool, and yeah. To my more weird pedals, we can go through those as well. I got a couple of weird pedals, which I rarely use because they're hard to make get in a musical sense. Um, but here we go. We're gonna try anyway. This is a sort of a very strange reverb. It has a sort of a windy, reverby sound. So if you want to make a lot of windy cave music, then this reverb is for you. It's the transmitter from Earthquaker Devices. Yeah, it's just all sorts of weirdness. But I gotta be in the mood for it. It doesn't fit all music because you like click the button here, and then it suddenly goes bananas. So with the whooshy whooshy sounds and stuff. So you gotta know which kind of music you want to make with it, and it's not for everybody, man. Yeah, but I still love it, of course. It's cool. My other two weirdy reverb, no, not reverb, but flange pedals. I got one here. It's the Pyramids from Earthquaker Devices. It's a stereo flange, and it just goes completely bonkers when you turn it up or turn it on. I have had some struggles with the volume because it just turns up the volume way high. So I gotta watch my volume levels when I use this. But, that's why I have this, which is almost the same thing. Um, Sadly, it's only got mono in. This got stereo in, so that's why I use this most of all. But I turn to the Polyman because it doesn't go completely bonkers on the volume, and it's got some really cool effects which are easier to dial in my opinion, than the Pyramids. So as for my more expensive experimental pedals, I got a mood pedal from Chase Bliss Audio. It's just kind of all kinds of strangeness going on with this one, and when I start using it, it's actually hard to get to grips what's going on. I'm sure that the manual is the size of a phone book, but every time I turn it on, it just turns into something beautiful, which I don't understand, but it's beautiful nonetheless. Yeah. I also got the Hummingbird pedal. It is a tremolo on the extreme side. You can get like a normal tremolo out of it, but you can also get a sort of a chopping sound, which is just, I haven't heard any pedal that does that other than the Hummingbird, to be honest. It's just extreme what it does to the sound, and it's it's beyond awesome. But this again also is a pedal which requires me to be in a sort of a mood set, and I'm not always there. I don't want to make always want to make music that is extreme and choppy and sounds aggressive to the core. So, but if I want to do that, then this pedal is the one for me. Yeah. So I bought something that was a little bit simpler and a little bit less extreme, and that was the new 33 from Solid Gold Effects. Yeah. It's also quite cool. Probably not so extreme as the Hummingbird, but you can dial in some really cool sounds with this as well. And it's got a hissing sound in it and a crackle sound, which makes it sound like an old radio, which is cool for 60s music. I don't produce much 60s music, but if I want to make 60s doom, then I can use this. Yeah. If you're on a budget and you don't got much money, then you can buy Behringer. The casing is plastic, so but don't worry about that. These are quality pedals nonetheless. And this is actually a really cool delay. the vintage delay, yeah, and you can get some insane noises with this. It's probably my most extreme delay pedal of everything I own, and it only cost me $30. Yeah, believe it or not, this cost $30. This costs $400, and this costs $300. So there we go. Yeah, it's cool to use with the drum boot impact to get some cool sudden effects with the beat. Yeah, and it only costs $30. So just try it out, man, if you're on a budget. So you can't go wrong. And they also got equalizer, a boost, a distortion, and a fuzz. They got everything, man. I also think they got a cheap reverb in there in the Behringer range. So what else? We also got this weird pedal right here. It's sort of a pitch shifting thing. I haven't really gotten to grips with it yet because it polarizes the signal, and it's just crazy stuff going on. So I haven't understood half of it, but it's pretty cool. I like it. But this is again a pedal I can't use for every track. I need to know what I'm doing with this pedal. And when I turn the dials, I don't know what's going on. So I should probably read the manual for this thing, I guess. There's also some other pedals if you're on a budget. This is pretty cool. It's a sort of a, you can squish your tone if you want to cut the low end or the high end. So it's pretty cool. And you also adjust what portion of your tone you want to adjust with this. And you also got a drive section in here. Another good mention on the budget side is this one. It's a stereo tremolo, believe it or not. So you connect it to here in mono, and then you can have it there and there, and it becomes a sort of a stereo tremolo effect, which you adjust the depth on here. So, and all of that for just $25, man. It's it's unbelievable. Can't believe it. Yeah. So, and it's designed in the U.S. So pretty awesome, and it only requires 9 volts, which you can, for example, get from the fuel tank if you want to use that. Fuel tank Junior. Yeah, it's powering most of my pedals anyway. So, what more? Yeah, we got. If you want an instrument to just kick through the signal and be in front of the mix, I found the Zeo from Source Audio to be extremely good. It's quite easy. You just click on it and your instrument suddenly becomes in front of the mix. You can do different stuff with it, of course, and how you want to pronounce your instrument with different settings. You can have it in studio setting or low cut. That cuts the low signal so you don't get much bass. And yeah, all sorts of stuff you can do. And you can also increase the output of it if you want more of the effects. If you think your tone is too bright, you can darken it as well. So there, now it's dark. Yeah. Okay. Some other honorable mentions. I did mention the reflector from old Blood Noise Endeavors. Yeah, awesome pedal. And I also got this. The Procession is just epic stuff. I used it in one of my tracks, Ambulance, and it just made a sort of a weird noise in the background, which I just used to produce that track. I wouldn't be inspired if it wasn't for this pedal. If it wasn't for this pedal, Ambulance would never have been made. So really happy with this pedal, and it's just awesome. If you want to check out Ambulance on Spotify, you do that. It's Xanitra Ambulance, and just listen to it. It's just a very hectic and epic track. If I want to make really dark music, now we're going to the basement now. There's another one from Old Blood Noise Endeavors. I'm a fan of theirs, so I buy some of their pedals. It's the Dark Star, and it just takes your signal and just makes it dark and oozy. And you can also mix, of course, so you don't have to have the Dark Star signal all the way. You can mix it in, so you can mix your tone in with the Dark Star. So you can have it as dark or as light or a mix between those as much as you want. It's just awesome, and yeah. Old Blood Noise Endeavors, man. That's where it's at. Last but not least, I think we should move on now so we don't get bored with all these pedals, but for compression, I use this to compress the signal. It's just to get everything just gets compressed, and I won't explain compression in this video. It will just take too long, but it just makes a signal sound better. I can't explain it any more than that. And you get the sensitivity dial here, so you can dial in how much compression you want and how much output you want on the signal. So, and you dial it in. Really easy to use, and I wouldn't be here without it. So yeah. I can show you this as well then. I got another pedal which is quite awesome. I use this mostly, of course, but I also got this. It's the Quintessence, and it's a tone changing pedal, but you can add some harmonies here and stuff, and scales and keys. So you got a lot of more choices here than just going one tone up or down, or one octave up or down. So yeah, I haven't used this in a while. I'm glad I found it. Maybe I should just try to use it and see where I go. Because, well, when I'm comfortable with the pedals I like using, I use them probably a little bit too often. So I should probably change it out to also change my tone and my music. So that goes here. Yeah. So yeah. And this guy is playing on the keyboard. He's playing the keyboard and he's having fun. You see? Yeah. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. This is a pretty strange pedal. It's the Judder. It's sort of a glitchy sort of pedal which takes your signal and glitches it for some seconds. So, and I can use it momentarily like that, hold it in, and then the effect is on, and then when I let the switch go, it goes away. Or I can click on this, and then it's all the time, but that's a bit boring. So I don't use this switch much. I use this most. Okay, so that's it. I use monitors from Yamaha. They haven't let me down, and they're pretty good, and they don't destroy the house with the sound. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Oh yeah, and of course I can't forget to mention this. This is the effect pedal for my drum machine, and it's got little bit of overdrive in there and some reverb as well, which I can mix. And I can also go back and forth between which way the pedal goes. So if I want to go overdrive first and then reverb, or vice versa. So yeah, it's pretty good. For my more basic house tracks, I also have a different MIDI controller. I have the SQ1 from Korg. It's pretty basic, but it's also quite cool. And I can change out the frequencies with this, the sequencer mode. Yeah. Okay, well, enjoy the sights and sounds. We're going to take a 3-minute break now. And when I get back, I'm going to show you an example of a song that I can make with this setup right here. Okay, I'm back. And before I show you how I record a song, I'm just going to show you how I record a song, or uh, I get it down so I don't have to do it all over again. All my instruments, the virus, which you see in the background here, have an output connection. This virus has a stereo output. The Minibird 2S, sorry, has a mono connection. And the Microfreak has a mono connection. So all these instruments have different connections, and my Drumbrute Impact also has a mono connection. And all these are wired to my mixer, which is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a Yamaha MG10 XU, so it's got some effects in there as well. So yeah, if I want to have effects upon effects, I can do that. And all this is mixed, and I can adjust the levels here. That's minimum and that's maximum. So if an instrument is too loud, I can just turn it down right here. So now it's turn a bit down, and I got some pans here. So if I want an instrument just to go right, I can do that, or left, I can do that as well. And here I adjust the effects. There's some built-in effects here, so I can adjust the amount of effects I want to add to the signal, but I don't usually use the effects on this mixer because I got, well, my own kind of setup for effects, but it's nice to have if I want to just test out a reverb without turning on some junk. I can just use the mixer one. And there's also an equalizer here, so I can add treble if I want that, or more vocal, or mids, as some call it, and bass. Turn up the bass. So there you go. As for more MIDI connection, I use Kenton MIDI through connector. So I connect all these MIDI cables through this, and it just copies the MIDI signal to all my synths. So I got lots of synths, man. So the Keystep Pro can't do it alone, so it needs some help. So the Kenton helps out with that and does a hi-fi with the Keystep Pro. And last but not least, I need something to record the signal, and then I use this Zoom recorder here. It's the, what's it called? It's the Zoom H6, yeah. So yeah. And usually I just use this to connect the signal from my mixer, but I can also connect the instruments individually if I want to do that. There's two there and two there. So yeah. And I can activate the different signals here if I want. So it's just many possibilities with this device. It cost a bit, but it was well worth the money. And I can adjust the levels here as well. So I can actually use it as a sort of a mini mixer if I want to do that. Yeah. Okay, so let's try to make a track then on the fly. I'm not gonna do much now because of the neighbors, but let's do a little bit of, let's have some fun with that jam. Okay, so I'm going to start with turning the Keystep Pro on. I believe you can hear that. Let me turn it up a bit. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So there I have a basic rhythm, but I can also turn on the metronome on the Keystep Pro if I want to do that. It lets me follow the rhythm easier. You didn't think that, did you? That it was so slow. Yeah, but it is. And then I chose the notes. Okay, there we go. Some of these sounds have built-in sequences. Jesus. Alright, we can do this. And then I hit record, and then I go. now it goes like this indefinitely. If I turn off the reflector, the signal changed. You see? The reflector has a reverb side. I turn off the metronome. Let's add a reverb to that. Now lunchroom. It's just magic, man. Adding some random to the beats. If you like what I do on this channel, please consider becoming a member. It really helps the channel and lets me do this stuff more. Oh well, that was me fiddling around with my studio and having fun and enjoying myself as usual. Yeah. So thanks, Sam. Yeah. But I got a day shift tomorrow, so I should probably go to bed. Yeah. Thank you for the support of Sam, Walt, my good friend, and Big Boss. If you hear me, I did a stream now, more in your timeline, so I hope you're watching. And if not, then yeah. I did try, man. Oh well, this is me saying goodbye from my studio. And to those watching, and some will as well, have a nice evening, and I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye bye.